I'd like to welcome everyone to our Love Begins With Me documentary project, our film project, and particularly I'd like to welcome our guest today, Peter Jam,
Thank you.
who will be speaking with us all about unconditional love and how love begins with me. So Peter, to start this out with our project, we're expressing stories with individuals, sharing their insights and understandings about unconditional love and how unconditional love makes a difference in their personal life and then in the world that they walk and what they do and the people they interact with and their experiences. So could you speak to us a little bit about how would you say, define unconditional love or how you've come into unconditional love? Maybe it's a two-part question. And an explanation of why unconditional love is making a difference in your life and how you've actually come to understand it.
Well, we have to know that the great source of very well-being, it comes from the source and power of love. So love is the only thing on earth that can love you. Love can love you. Other things can also not love you, but love is the great source of love. Love can't hate, love can't dislike, love is, and we are like any creature in the world, we love to be loved. And the love that is coming us from anything, anyhow, will make us a better being. Spiritually, even physically, even, and then from ourselves we can go to any living thing on earth. If there is love, there is life. So once we are talking about unconditional love, it is the higher great source of well-being on earth. And once I say very well-being, it means like I'm talking about life. It's a matter of life and death. So we are talking about life. We are bringing life to the plants, to the animals, to anywhere, anyhow. So it's very interesting through my experiences and through my studies, travelings, and always I'm up to learn more and more to figure out this great source that we have it inside of us, and we can find it anywhere, anyhow, once we start to see. And in my peace song I say, love is everywhere. You don't have to look far.
Right.
So this is how it goes. I mean, how we can see the beauty of things. And just before a couple of hours, we were somewhere and there was the bird. And some people were seeing the bird as, making noise. But we saw and heard the beauty of the voice, So this is the love that comes from this bird. And we have to inspire other people to see this beauty in this bird, in this noise that the bird is doing, So then we will try to figure out the beauty of life and the real how precious life is with love, because without love there is lots of songs and poems says without love there is no life.
Right.
And without life there is no love also. So it's all completing each other. So I guess if we're going to talk about it, I can go on all the session talking about it, but I guess we have other questions also.
Well, it brings a good question, because as we've known each other many years, and we understand very similar understanding about life and the importance of life and the preciousness of life. You didn't start out this way, just like I didn't start out this way. You come from both a Lebanese and Armenian background, and not all of that was always the most precious and loving in its own right. Maybe help our audience understand like who you were, and in your own pathway of awakening, how you came to understand. We now understand you get the presence of love, but it wasn't always that way. So tell us just a brief little bit about your culture and how that kind of formed who you were and how you broke out of that. So how you actually moved and transformed beyond your own cultural beliefs and understandings.
I will start with a quote. I wrote it on my past album, Love Loves You and We All Love You, my friend. In many interviews they ask me who are the we in it. We all love you. That we is, I mean, it's me, it's you, whoever want to be in the circle of love. First of all, I want to tell that before saying like I was, what I became through, and how I transformed. Even right now that I'm transformed and I'm transforming, it's always a challenge for us. We are human beings, you know. We can go on wrong ways. We can have wrong decisions. But at the same time, being awake every moment, it's gonna be the key. You know, like if right now I'm not awake of what I'm saying, after 2-3 minutes, this is gonna be past.
Right.
So I'm creating my present for my nearest future. So this is the way that I see through the years. Like I was born in the Lebanese Civil War in the 80s, and then I tried to grow up in this like modest family and like a town or city in Beirut, but we were just north of Beirut, and to grow up this like closed society, and then little by little trying to break this shell, you know, just to go out of it and try to see the world around, and then connecting the power of love within the shelter and out of the shelter, and then trying to figure out that about different purposes of life, let's say. And overall we can see that we need a power in life to survive, to be better every day, you know. And I try to figure out what it can be, you know. And always I read about like purpose of life is to be happy. I mean, how we can be happy and we don't feel the love within ourselves. So I started from this point, that how I can make myself real happy. So then I started to learn about different cultures, different religions, different backgrounds, different whatever countries, and the connection of happiness, of well-being, of human nature or human beings.
A common human denominator.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. And this commonness started to push me to dig more, you know. And digging more, I reached to a point that no, there is a source, there is a power, and this source is the power of love. Where else we can talk also about the other side, the other source. Whatever negative things that we can think about, we can go back, and then we can see the power of fear, you know. So always in every moment we have a decision to make. Or we're gonna go to power of love and or power of fear. And actions of fear can't be actions of love, or the thoughts or actions or words or whatever. So every moment we must be awake of whatever we are saying, whatever we are thinking at first, to be out of love and out of unconditional love. And this needs acting and not reacting. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna be like a philosopher now, I'm talking. I do sometimes reactions. Then I realize that, oh, this moment I should have gave myself the chance. Give peace a chance. Mm-hmm. Give your mind a chance also to think. You know, this very moment that I'm gonna act or react. You know, if somebody cursed me, I should curse and fight, or I should say, why did you say this? You know, what did I do? Or if you did something, you can say sorry, and just everything finishes up. So in many workshops that I was speaking about extreme cases, and how this acting and reacting of mindfulness can change everything, and on the basis of power of love or power of fear. And wherever I see anybody carrying a gun, for example, I say, afraid, coward. If somebody doesn't have this fear, you know, that will not carry anything, you know.
And
so,
you know that because you actually had that experience yourself. So you
definitely,
actually had the contrast.
Definitely.
So you know what it's like to, in other words, you didn't just wake up with all this love and understanding. You lived the constrained life of fear where you had bombs dropping around you and you carried a gun, and you moved into a transformation. In other words, many of the people around you have not made that transformation.
Definitely.
They didn't realize that, don't realize today that there's still a choice, which is what you're speaking of. So in a way, your contrast of your upbringing and your culture also brought in an opportunity. And I guess really here what we're sharing is that everyone has this opportunity all the time.
Yes.
We just don't always know it. And individuals like you and I who know that we walked with reaction, we are now working from a standpoint of action and compassion and love, and it is making an extraordinary difference.
Definitely, definitely. Well, if we talk about the Middle East, and especially about Lebanon, and next door in Syria there is war, and I kind of follow up if I want or I don't want, because I'm living there, I must follow up. And I see that there are lots of civilians, people, they are forced to carry guns, they are forced to be violent, they are forced to be in this circle that they don't want to be. So, and at every moment I try to put myself into them, because I told you in the 80s I was seeing guns and everything, and you know, militias, everything around me. So then we try to see how we can change this, how we can change, we can save this. First of all, everything comes whenever we try to inspire the other to start to think what words we can say, in what position we can stand for, that these people can kind of realize that there can be always a way out. And it's not that the violence or carrying the gun or whatever, it's you know, my dad used to tell me when I was a little kid, he used to tell me, if you carry a gun, you will die with a gun. So says like the universe will react on you, you know, like the karma. So I was like, right now when I was like in my travelings, I was thinking like, oh, then if I'm carrying the unconditional love, then I must live with the unconditional love. So, and I always say that I'm just maybe a little candlelight, you know. If I light any other person around me, nothing will be like my light will not be less.
Right.
And at the same time, we will see that together we are making there. It's not a competition here, you know. So I want to try to awaken, you know, these people, that to give them this choice. So there is a choice always. There is, I mean, there is a will, there is a way. There is always hope. I have a new song that I'm writing. There is a hope, even for the hopeless. There is hope. So we try to live in their word and understand what they are true, but at the same time, what we do to them, you know, to try to influence them. And next to the influencing, says we are at the same human level here, you know. So and try to empower them to be out of this thing that they are into. And there is an understanding that I mean, in Middle East everybody wants war. It's not like that. The real reality of in the Middle East what's going on, it's like in the hospital. Can you go to a hospital and ask any patient, like, do you want to be well? Right. Like the Middle East is like a hospital, you know. The people are patients, so they need help to be out of there. And it is never true that at least I can talk about majority and people. I'm talking not governments, not right. People on power,
not common human.
Yeah, common human beings and civilians and all these people, poor people, let's say mostly. They are more than me and you pro peace. They are more than me and you. We work on for peace. We give our lives for it, but. They are so much they appreciate. Why do they appreciate? Because, as I said, a patient, you know, how much he appreciates health more than the healthy person. Healthy person hasn't seen the illness, the sickness. But once we are sick, said, oh, I would do anything to be good, you know, to be like in a good health. So this is the thing over there that I have lived inside the war. I know what does it mean war. That's why right now I try to go around the world and stand against wars and say that the war is never a solution, but peace. It never ever happened, even in history. If we read history, even the biggest wars that happened, in the end they came next to each other, and they based everything on understanding. Understanding comes from what? From power of love, you know. So back, whatever we are turning around, you know, and innocent people are dying, or you know, time being wasted, and all of this, at the end of the road we are turning to the same circle of the unconditional love. We are to say the power of love, that is the only power that can really transform every human being, every society. And then we are talking about all the Mother Earth, that we can try to save it, you know. And the saving starts always if everybody does whatever they can. In the UNESCO Palace, I was doing a speech. I said also about you don't have to be Peter Jam. Peter Jam can't be Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King can't be John Lennon. John Lennon can't be Gandhi. Gandhi can't be Harold. Harold can't be John. Everybody has himself to work on and try to bring what they can do, how they can make a change. And once I was doing this speech, I said, like, they're like teenagers here. You don't have to be me or him or him. You can have this, from your precious time and busy life, you can have this couple of seconds to post something on Facebook. Everybody has Facebook now. You know, I'm not marketing it. No, it doesn't need.
But it does connect us all around the world.
Social marketing, like anything, that every moment, every day, we can have little moments that we can be kind. We
in
can
the grocery store, in the post office, in
everywhere,
the market,
anywhere,
wherever we are,
anywhere.
we can be an example.
Yeah.
But the love really does begin with us. We can't expect the world to become this peaceful world. We need to be the peaceful world, or the loving world in ourselves, and then bring it out.
I try to put it in a way that we want a big barrel to fill water, and we are the water. At the very moment now, we can't just come all together and inside the bottle. Everybody will come like a drop of water. So now what we do, as a drop of water, I try to push the other drop, you know, in a way that I can't force him, I can't change him, I can just change myself to show him or her that how it is to go inside the bottle, the barrel or bottle or whatever it is, or the cup, to fill the cup. So if everybody fills within drop, maybe my drop is a little bit bigger, maybe other people more, you know, more big drops, you know. So everybody can be dropped into the same bottle, and then we can see that, oh, it's filled, you know. How come? What a miracle, magic, you know. So this is the thing that we are always saying in my recent campaign. Also, peace starts with you and me, my friend. On my album also, peace starts with you and me, my friend. This is the thing. Like, if I am a candlelight, I would like to light you, you know, and you can light others. If I am this drop of water, which is nothing will change this, but with these little drops together, we can make something, you know.
We can fill the barrel with all of our drops.
Yeah, with this cup of water, somebody thirsty, dying, can be saved from, you know, we can save the lives. So, I mean, for me, I think that on the other side, always, if we think of that, Harold is not active, Peter is not active, the other is not active, we start not to be active at all. And in the end, what shall we do? Complain, talk, and
give
then
into fear,
and then
live in fear, and therefore make no, you know.
And then trust who?
Right.
The religious leaders. Trust who? The governments, the authorities. The history has shown. History. We need facts. We don't need just talking in there. The history and the facts show that these people didn't make any change. And meanwhile, in fact, I mean, you can see that they made a change towards worse always. Right. But we see that power of people, awakening of people, the awareness of people forced them to make new rules, to believe in human rights, to believe in women's rights. Who talked about women's rights? I don't see in any country suddenly they have a rule that they will defend women's rights. Women were like a slave, or the black people, they were like a slave. Who did this? people,
Right.
the revolution of people. And here it comes the word non-violent. When we talk about revolution, everybody thinks that, oh, we have to fight, we have to, no. The violent revolutions, through the history, we have seen that if we are violent against the authorities and these people, they can be more violent than us. It's their job. We lose.
Right.
We lose the game. But if we are non-violent, then it means that they have no military power, they have no weapons that they can use. It's just like, it's just like civil power. So here it comes the power of unconditional love. Here it comes the power of unconditional love, how the people gathered together without any material force, they have the power of love. Because power of love is the truth. How much you hide the truth, it will come up.
And
so,
it's eternal, it's universal, it's in us already.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
In your travels, as you're sharing your understandings and your peace campaigns, you're actually not just working within your own countries, and obviously you have challenges within your own country about what land is what, but you've chosen to go out, you've come to America, you've gone to Europe, you are choosing to be out there and being a power of love wherever you go. To kind of conclude this, kind of share with us very briefly how you're experiencing, when you're going into different cultures, you're actually seeing people realizing it's not a border, it's not a culture, it's not a society, it's one planet, it's one humanity. You're actually, in a way, reminding, inspiring, and at the same time, obviously people are attending your events and your presentations. You're seeing an effective change, that people are actually waking up and realizing that it's not about us and them, it's just us. It's one big us, that one big barrel. With your travels, to kind of share as a conclusion, are you, share with us from the standpoint that you're seeing it actually transform, not just because you're there, but you're actually seeing that the people that are showing up are transforming.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I can see this obvious change, let's say, which is a change that we can call it transformation. As I always talk about growing. Growing is a natural act that becomes a fact in life, that everything living in this world, in this planet, must be growing, even our own mind. If it's not growing, it means that, or it's not expanding, not learning something new, it just stands like, blocked, and we don't know how we're gonna live our lives. So once we are in this growing path, we need vitamins, minerals, all of these things that,
All the earthly elements
yeah,
that make us...
help the growing section. So here it comes the work of Love Foundation or other foundations or NGOs or individuals
like Peter Jam,
like Harold, like whoever he or she is, to give these minerals and vitamins to this growth. And I mean, I can see, I can sense, and everybody can see now, this global movement, let's say, of the people, pure people, that they understand now that, there is something called the source of love, and we have to act out of love, out of kindness, non-violence. I mean, there are lots of things that we can call, it comes from the source of love, that the people are now realizing and awakening and trying to do movement in every country. That's why whenever I'm in Germany, there is animal rights organization, TLF Initiative Augsburg in Bavaria. And they do always campaigns, and they are always on the streets and in the festivals, to do this awakening of non-violence against animals. And then I go, for example, to Armenia. I can see over there other path of movement about Armenian genocide, how it is moving towards human rights, how it's going to take out the seeds of hatred and to plant the seeds of love, so that it can be pure, let's say, global form of understanding about humanity, that we should stop all this violence, genocides, wars, and come together, all the people, and form this oneness, that our pains, our sorrows, as our happiness and our needs, our vitamins, our everything that we need, whether you are from wherever you come from which continent you come from which color you are, it's all the same. We have the same. Even recently, I was feeling about the animals, how we are animal in the end, and then we can see how we are close to it. And then we can expand this circle of all the creatures in the world, how we are all one and how we need each other. Because I always say the purpose of life is to be happy, but happiness turns to joy when we share. So my dog, when he shares the love with me, it's not that just like I love myself, he loves himself. When we come together, there is a joy, higher spirituality in happiness that we can't express. It's a joy. So if we live in this joy, it comes only from the power of unconditional love. And say in the same song, I say, I see love in the eyes of my dog. This is unconditional love. If I feed them or not, he's giving me this love. So I study from it. I try to study from everywhere, from anywhere, about the power, the energy of love that comes. Once we open our eyes and also our brain, and at the same time our heart, because our heart and our mind, they work together, they are not separate. People try to market they are separate things. Do you follow your heart? No, they complete each other. If you follow one of them, you are in the wrong path. You have to combine them, because both of them you have it within yourself. And only the power of love, unconditional love, can combine them together. And then we will see that how we are comfortable with ourselves and how we can spread this comfort around us. And we can just see the beauty around us, the beauty of the nature, of the people, of whatever is coming. And at the other side, we are being realistic, not being only optimistic in the air. We are living in the clouds. No. At the same time, we are seeing the sorrow of the people, the pain of the people, and we're going to be next to them. And we're going to say that there is a path now we can take. There is a power that we can take. We can give you, or we can inspire you, that we join all together, and then we're going to start feeling what we were talking about transformation, of making the world a better place. So everything is starting within me, within you, within others, and combining all together. It's group, the bigger group, as you were telling me in the car about Love Foundation for 15 years. How many countries, how many activists? Now you can see, after 15, and the same goes on all these global organizations, like goodwill organizations and individuals. And there is one thing about me, that whenever I travel, I don't sleep in the hotels. Usually I'm with the people. I want to be with the people. I want to live even on a couch I can sleep. The most important thing in my mission is I want to understand. I want to dive into their world and my world, to try to find the link and try to see how we can inspire each other, so that we can feel this energy of love between each other's words. So and then I figured out that without saying a word, we are understanding each other. We are experiencing each other's like experiences that was in the past, in the present moment, and then trying to look for the future, that it can be better future once the colors that you have, like I have, the other had, once they start to be next to each other, beautiful rainbow, not on each other. This is a big difference. Once we are on each other, colors are lost, everything is lost, and people start to see that, oh, we are lost. No, we can be next to each other, and we can give this beautiful contrast, and it can be like a beautiful rainbow. We can see that the nature is not one color. The nature has different colors. They are all in harmony, living next to each other. So that's the thing that sometimes people are globalizing and blah blah, all of this, they have fear. No, take out this fear. I am Armenian, I am Lebanese, I'm very proud, but at the same time I'm a global citizen. I can come and talk to your language and be next to you, but that doesn't mean that I'm forgetting or or leaving what I have in my culture or whatever. I can bring my culture, you can bring, we can reflect on each other, and then the colors will shine in a way that nobody can imagine. So this is the way that I always think, and I always feel, and I always express and act in the end to reach to a point that people are living next to each other in peace. How does this happen? This can happen only through understanding each other, that I don't have any fear from you, don't have any fear from me, so we can be next to each other, we can learn from each other, we can shine on each other, and then we can live in this unconditional love that we are giving and taking from each other, and then we can see that the world is turning into heaven. How come?
Is exactly why we have Peter Jam as our guest today, as Love Begins With Me, because love does begin with me.
Yes.
And as you've so eloquently placed it, and because you have traveled it and you are living it, it's not just a philosophy, it's not just an ideal, it's not just, you said, as an optimism or hopefulness. You're actually living it, you're out there, and this is exactly why we've brought Peter Jam in today to share his understanding of Love Begins With Me. So we want to thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank our audience for taking time out, and check us out, Love Begins With Me film project, thelovefoundation.com. We certainly hope to hear from you and hear more about how love begins with me from your perspective.